Hi there, this is Floating in Dreams. This is my August haul. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This video is going to be an overview of all the items I purchased or received throughout the month of July, and I'm showing you that always at the start of the month. So stay tuned if you want to see more like this, because it always gives you an idea of what product reviews might be coming to you very, very shortly. So without further ado, let me get to these bits. Before we get into the video, it may be good to know who I am and what I like doing on this channel, just in case you're new here and you've never seen one of my videos. My name is Maaike, I live in the Netherlands, I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, and this greatly influences how I feel about makeup. I have been reviewing makeup for more than a decade. I love trying out eyeshadow palettes, essence and Catrice, and getting the use out of my makeup. So if that's something you're interested in, then I hope you'd like to consider subscribing. So what will I be showing you in today's video? I received an item in PR, and there is going to be another one on its way, but I need to pre-film this as I will be traveling very soon, and therefore I will be showing you the other PR bit in my next haul, but in the meantime, you can look forward to that. I also went to Paris, which meant I had to stock up on some skincare, and of course there were a couple of exciting releases that I wanted to get my hands on, so those are the things that I finally found and finally got my hands on, so I will be showing you those as well. And just so you know, there are a lot of palettes here. Case in point, speaking of palettes, I received this guy in PR. This is the Ensley Rain Cosmic Dreamer, and this was sent to me very kindly by Monolith. So thank you so very much, because I shared on my community tab how I had found over on Instagram that Monolith was doing this announcement where they were looking for creators who they wanted to send some products to, and they decided to pick me, and I didn't think I stood a chance because I really thought it was going to be Instagram only, and I only have a personal account on there. But when I asked you guys whether you could chip in and send them some messages, so many of you did, and I was so very grateful, and they decided to send me this palette, and there is another one that's going to make its way to me, which I'll be showing you in September. So in case you're unfamiliar with Monolith, they are a European-based website that stocks indie brands from outside of the EU, and they sell it on there, meaning that if you shop through them, you don't have to go through all of the shipping and handling fees, making it a lot more cost effective to wait for the releases to come up on there before you even decide to purchase them through the US, Australian, UK website very often. So shopping through Monolith is something that I have been doing for the past year already myself anyway, because I do have an interest in these indie brands that are harder to find, and I think they are expanding as they go along. They usually announce over on Instagram whenever they do restocks, which happen roughly once a month, and they always are very informative on there. I find very communicative about what products will be back and when things will go live. So I really enjoy shopping through them already, so to be able to get them to send me some PR means just like it's a match made in heaven, you could say, and they sent me this. Would I have purchased the Cosmic Dreamer palette with my own money? I don't think so, because I did try some Ensley Rain earlier in the year. These palettes are pretty expensive if you buy them with your own money, and I didn't fully love the palettes I tried enough to warrant the price point. Did I like it? Do I think it's good eyeshadow? Sure. And the Cosmic Dreamer, someone already mentioned it in the comments when I showed this in a new makeup releases video. The packaging isn't very appealing. However, now that I have this in, and I actually saw the color story in real life, I was like, oh yes, but this is a very me palette. It is colorful yet grungy. And if you know anything about me, you know I like a little bit of a colorful grungy moment. I kind of have something going on my eyes today. This is by Glamshop though, which is a completely different brand. But you can see there are some like cooler toned, grungy shades in this bottom half, and then some more colorful pinky orange leaning shades in the top half. There are enough shimmers here to have it be to my liking for sure, but this is pretty matte heavy, I find, for Ensley Rain. But one thing I do have already figured out now that I have it in, I did already swatch it, and there are fewer of the very flaky shades that are in the Cold Moon. So that was one of the palettes that I really liked the color story of, but because of some of the shades being very flaky and therefore difficult to use with brushes, I wasn't a huge fan of it. because that just means I'm very limited in what I can do with the palette. This only has one of those flaky shimmers, and everything else is far more in line with what the Land of Enchantment has to offer. So I like this, and I really enjoyed what this color story looked like on the back of my arm. So I can't wait to play with this and put it on my eyes. It's gonna take a while for me to get to this. I think it's going to be September that I can actually show you this in a review, and then I will be selecting it for my Shop My Stash. So yeah, thank you so very much for Monolith for sending me this way, but you can be assured that later in this video I will be showing some bits that I bought from Monolith with my own money, because as I mentioned, I did already shop from there. Next up, I went to Paris. This was a sneaky little trip that I planned for myself because I was turning 40 earlier in July, and I was like, I want to treat myself. So that's definitely what I did. I vlogged the entire experience of my 40th birthday week over on the other channel, so that link will be in the description box down below. I didn't buy a whole lot of makeup while I was there, but I did get some French skincare. So makeup-wise, I only got 2 things because I went to the Sephora on the Champs-Élysées, and I finally found 2 items in shades I liked that I hadn't been able to see in store yet. I had already found the Fenty Beauty foundation. This is the soft lip foundation, and this one was one that I was sort of interested in already. I kind of knew going into Sephora that I would want to check it out. I had already swatched it when I was in Germany, but they were out of all of the lightest shades when I was there. But they did have mine in Paris. I was matched to this in store by the Fenty Beauty makeup artist. This is in shade 125, and it appeared to be a good match. I was doubting when I was swatching in Germany whether I would be 120, 125, or 130, and she instantly matched me to this. So it was a really good match. It's a neutral undertone shade, so I can't wait to see this on my skin in natural lighting. It definitely looks light enough for me. And the other product I finally found were the new Haus Labs blushes. This has a very complicated name. It's the Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm. This is in Glassy Hibiscus. The shade is perhaps a little bit boring, but this is the only shade that really appealed to me that they had on offer. I swatched a couple of them, and I thought I was gonna go for like the lilac-y pinky one, but that didn't really look that interesting on the back of my hand, whereas this is the kind of shade I just know I can get a lot of use out of. We all know I love a mauve tone blush. This is essentially a mauve tone blush. Did I need another cream stick blush in a mauve tone? I definitely don't. I have plenty of them. In fact, I'm wearing one of them right now. But this is my comfort zone when it comes to blushes, and I really wanted to try this formula because apparently this is very, very dewy. So I can't wait to give this more of a whirl, but this was one item that wasn't there yet when I was in Germany in June. So it wasn't out then, but now it's in Europe as well. And then the final bits I bought from Sephora were also skincare because I bought some Bioma. I actually wanted to stock up on the Milky Oil Cleanser, which I did buy, but I forgot to take it up here because that became an instant hit. The minute I started using that, it became one of my favorite ever cleansers because it takes my makeup off in one go, and I don't need to double cleanse with it at all. So that has been a great one. It's like a cleansing balm, but in liquid form. That's how I feel about it. So that's been an excellent pick. The other bits I've tried from Bioma have been a bit hit and miss, I have to say. A lot of the products are a little too simple for my dry skin that it really does enough. I had a little travel set with some hydrating items that they do, and the cleanser that was in there, the serum that was in there, and also the moisturizer that were in there. It was okay, but it didn't blow me away to the point where I really wanted to own the full size. However, because I like the cleanser so much and I saw this, I was like, I might as well give that a whirl. This is the Barrier Repair Treatment with avocado oil and squalane and some other barrier repair ingredients. So here is what the packaging looks like. This seemed to be a newer product, and it was categorized as like moisturize on the back. So I've been putting it with my moisturizers, and I'm going to be rolling this into a skincare routine in the future. But of course, when we're in Paris, we have to visit the French pharmacie, and I was all out of some of my favorite French skincare, so I decided to stock up. I was out of the Embryolisse. This is the Lait Crème Concentré, which is, I just buy the regular version, and this is so nice. I used mine up in the springtime, and I knew I had to repurchase it. This has gotten pricey, though. This was close to 18 euros, which some of the other moisturizers I bought are far cheaper. They're like half the price, and you get more, because this is 75 milliliters, and I have two here that are 100, and they retail for around 10 euros that I like equally as much. But this is a staple in my skincare routine ever since I tried it in like a decade ago. I always have a tube of this in my skincare cupboard. Like if my skin freaks out and I don't know what to do, I go back to this and everything fixes itself. So holy grail skincare product that I need to repurchase. And I think in France, it's actually slightly cheaper than it is over here. Then the other two favorites I had to repurchase is this one. This is a recent discovery. This is by Avène, and it's the Sickle Fate Repairing Protective Cream. This is an unfragranced, completely unscented product. And I used up my nighttime moisturizer, and now I've been using this in the daytime as well as in the nighttime as my moisturizer. This retails for about 10 euros. It comes with 100 milliliters of product. It is a thicker formula, so it does go on pretty white, and you really need to rub it into your skin to make it like sink in. But this has been so great for my dry skin. My skin has been loving this stuff, so I knew I had to buy it because I think Avène is a little bit harder to find over here where I live. And then, of course, my tried and true, the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast B5. I pick one of these up every single time I'm in Paris. Every single time I'm in France, I'm like, I need to pick up a La Roche-Posay Cicaplast because this is my other favorite moisturizer. I still have one of these in backup, and I have an SPF version in backup as well. So did I really need this? No, not really. But I go through moisturizer like my life depends on it. So it's good for me to have like a little like arrangement of like backups here as well, because I go through it so quickly. And I do have another trip to Paris planned in September, but I have some other plans of things I want to do then, and I don't know whether I'll have time to really go shopping. And I don't know when I will be going to Paris next, because I have some other travel plans that take up a lot more time and budget next year. So I probably won't be able to go as often as I did this year, because September will be the third time I'm going there this year. But next year I may not even make it over there at all. So I was like, I might as well just stock up. Then I also bought a product that now that I'm home and I looked in my skincare cupboard, I was like, do I have this or not? Because I do have a Toleriana Sensitive Riche, but this is the Sensitive Cream. So this looked new to me, but I'm not sure if that's the case. It could be the same thing as that other product. I have tried a lot of the Toleriana moisturizers, and I keep trying them, but they're not always moisturizing enough for my skin. So because this is sensitive and it says cream, I hope it's like a thicker formula. This only comes with 40 milliliters though, so it's pretty tiny, and it was about as expensive as the other ones. So I definitely prefer the other ones because they're just a lot more bang for your buck. And then I also wanted to pick up the La Roche-Posay SPF. Some of you were mentioning in my skincare video that I did in June that they've actually reformulated the mattifying SPF. This is the gel cream oil control with the factor 50 with the new sunscreen filters that they have been doing. I still have one with the old filters currently in my skincare routine. It's almost gone. And I showed that in that video, and someone was saying, oh, but this is the old one. So therefore I picked this one up, and this was also on sale. It had like a couple of euros off. So I was like, might as well give this a whirl. I'm not sure to what extent the reformulated has affected the formula. That person did tell me that it now does come with a little bit of alcohol. And I tried the Shaka fluid one that everybody is raving about, but because that has alcohol in, it really dries out my dry skin already, so I don't love that. But this one I always loved. This one especially in the summertime because it does have that mattifying factor, and it's great for anti-shine and not leaving any sort of white residue. They also have one with a blue stripe, which is the hydrating version, and that's my favorite SPF for the winter time. So La Roche-Posay SPFs are my favorites, so I always have a couple in stock. Then I had to stock up on my favorite retinol because I'm like 2/3 of the way gone through my tube already, and since I don't know when I will be going back to Paris again, I had to pick up A330. I don't know how to say this name exactly, but this is a retinol, a very gentle one, and so far it's the only retinol I've ever tried that truly works for me. A lot of the ones I've tried, even if they were recommended for like sensitive skin, they were too harsh for me. I only try this once or twice a week, but I really love it. It says here that it's a pomade, so it is more like a Vaseline kind of formula that is a little bit thicker, and I think that's why it works. I also like layering this over my serum so there's already a little bit of a barrier there before it goes onto my skin. I only use it 2 to 3 times a week because my skin can't handle any more. But this is the first time I've tried a retinol that my skin doesn't like get red or flaky or nothing really happens to it, and yet it's still effective. So that's why I wanted to make sure I stocked up on a new tube. You definitely don't need a lot with this. Only like a pea-sized amount is enough. But I have been using mine consistently for the past 8 months or so, I think. I started using it in the winter time. And it's now starting to run out. So by the time I get to Paris and I can stock up on this, I will have run out of this, I think. So A313 is one of my favorite retinols. And finally, they had this on sale, the Uriage Eau Thermale. This is a thermal water facial spray, and it comes in this giant container, and it was only $3.99. I was like, I love a bit of a face spray in my morning skincare routine. So that's why I decided to pick it up, because I'm almost out of the face spray I'm currently using. I do have another one from a K-beauty brand that I think I can use as a face spray, but I'm not sure if it's intended to be used that way. I still need to look up some information, but this way I have a facial spray for my morning skincare routine in backup, and this is 300 milliliters. So I hope this is going to last me some time. So those are all of the Paris bits, which means we now get to the online orders that I placed. And as I already mentioned at the start of the video, there were some exciting releases that were being announced, or some palettes that finally came to Monolith that I had had my eye on for some time. Plus, finally, some items became available on Beauty Bay as well that I had had my eyes on. And I told you already, I think back in May when this product launched and it was announced, I'll show you in a bit what it was, that I would place myself a little Beauty Bay order once that palette dropped over here, because there were some other bits on Beauty Bay I also have my eye on. But Beauty Bay, ever since Brexit, has gotten a lot less interesting to shop from, so you definitely need to make sure you get like free shipping for it to be worth it nowadays. And with just those products, I wouldn't get to free shipping. And with this new product that I was just waiting painstakingly for it to come in stock, it finally did happen. Plus there was a sale going on as well when this order happened. Something I already bought because I want to do another K-beauty eyeshadow palette review some point this year. There are a couple of them on my wish list, and they sadly sold out before I could buy them from YESSTYLE, but then I found them on AliExpress. I never shopped through there, but I was like, this way I can try it. These aren't K-beauty, but they are C-beauty, so they're made in China. It's a Chinese makeup brand. It's called Flortte, or Flortte. It's Flortte. Flortte. I don't know, but they look really cute. They are these little mini palettes. They come with a little keychain holder. They also came with keychains, but the formulas of this and also the color stories really appeal to me. This is shade 2, which is the purpley one. So you get a sparkly black, this taupey shade of purple, and this really amazing shimmer that looks very glittery in the pan, but it really is a true high shine metallic shimmer with a lot of sparkle. It's very pretty. And then shade 1, these are from a special collection. That's why they sold out on YESSTYLE, I think. It's the Flower Food Bear. I don't know. I'm going to be gifting the keychains to my niece and nephew because I think they might like them. And this I just like because it has like those taupey shades with that pop of blue and then this duochrome shimmer. Get out of here. And they were so affordable. Like, I didn't pay a lot of money for this. I think it was, including shipping, it was like 15 euros for these 2 palettes. I mean, it was pretty decent. They are a lot smaller than I had expected though, but the color stories are definitely something that I think I can get down with. So that's a bit of a side quest that I'm sort of working on gathering in the next couple of months, so that October, November time I can do another K-beauty eyeshadow palette review, because I'm pretty sure, like, I just have a whole list of palettes that I would like to get from YESSTYLE, and these 2 were on that list. Then, newly announced in June, and I knew the minute that these were announced that I had to buy them, both of the new Cosmic Brushes palettes. Of course, the Cool Trolls one was the one that really stood out to me, and I instantly knew that I would want to get my hands on this. Oh, I took the sleeve off. I was like, there was a sleeve, but it wasn't. These sleeves were very much stuck when I got the palette in. Here's what the palette looks like. This looks quite warm, I feel, in the pan, but when I swatched it, it wasn't that warm at all. We get some like purpley things, but we get a lot of blues in here. So why this is called Cool Trolls? Because there isn't a lot of neutral going on in here. If you don't like blues, maybe stay away from this one, but it has the really stunning Cosmic Brushes formula. I did already manage swatching this, and it seems to be consistent upon a swatch with the other palettes I've tried from the brand. But the one that is now in, and that I'm a little bit more excited for than the other one, surprisingly, is the neutrals one. And of course, we all know I like a bit of warm-toned makeup at the minute. I have been really sort of falling back in love with warm tones on myself. This looks very warm because of this like beigey brown cardboard, I feel. But if you leave like these three shades out, it's very neutral and it's very muted, which is why I like it. It has a couple of like multi-chromes, duochromes. Both palettes have those kind of shades in. We get some really nice neutrally browns. This row of like dusty purples, I really, really like the look of. Also these greens, and also again in a swatch, it looked stunning. And it looked a lot more wearable to me now that I have it in than on a lot of the pictures I saw online. I feel that with both of these, actually, a lot of the campaign images made these seem a lot more saturated than they actually are. So that may be something to bear in mind if you were looking into these. I bought these from the Cosmic Brushes website. The main reason for it being that they now calculate the shipping and handling fees all in one go upon checkout. And I felt it didn't make, like, whether I would buy these from Monolith or I would buy them through Cosmic Brushes didn't really matter to me all that much. So great that Cosmic Brushes now offers that service, because I always am a fan of that. And then you're probably wondering, so then what did you get from Beauty Bay? Well, I was waiting for Beauty Bay to have something in stock that was newly announced, as I mentioned, so I could get all of these things. The thing I was waiting for to come in stock, the Sigma Cool Neutrals. This was only available in the US for the longest time, and I knew Beauty Bay is probably going to get this palette or another European retailer that's going to make it so much easier to get. I saw it drop on the website, but then it said out of stock. I was like, did it already sell out? Did I miss out? What's going on here? And then I checked again at the end of June, and it was in stock, and they had a sale on. So I think I had like 10% off or something like that. Even more, perhaps. I think I paid about 45 euros for this. And I thought, that's a new release, and I can get some money off. So I was super happy about it. Of course, the cool neutrals, we all know, isn't that cool toned. That's the critique this product has been getting. I've swatched it. It definitely is quite warm toned over on this side of the palette. These are the cool tones, but they're not very light. They're very dark. This has been something I've said about Sigma makeup for a while. This is my third Sigma palette, and for instance, something like the new Mod is also slightly too dark for my fair skin. I can make it work. It's fine. It's still one of my favorite rosy tone palettes, but I definitely feel that Sigma's eyeshadow palettes definitely cater to more medium to deep skin rather than very light skin tones. That's just something to bear in mind, and they're just not really good at doing cool tones. However, is this still a pretty palette if I just take it at face value? Yes. We get a mustard yellow. This is like the only shade I don't like in this palette. Everything else was really, really beautiful, and even that gold, like, I just don't really like yellow tone golds. It has a little bit of a hint of green, so it can still work really well for me. I think this is a great palette if you have olive skin, if you have medium to deep skin, and you have a warmer undertone, and you want to try cool tones on yourself, but you don't want to commit to something that's as gray and blue as the Cool Trolls from Cosmic Brushes, then the Cool Neutrals from Sigma is good. If you have a cool undertone and you have fair skin, I don't think you're going to like the Sigma Cool Neutrals. However, I looked at that color story and I was like, I think with my neutral undertone, I can see some pretty looks in there, so I definitely want to give it a whirl. And I haven't bought a Sigma palette since the new mod came out, so it was time for me to try something new, and this definitely fits with my current vibe. It's got those warm tones in I'm currently loving, but it still also has the cool tones where my heart truly lies, so it's definitely the best of both worlds for me. But then I wanted to get free shipping, so I got some other bits. This I already mentioned. I wanted to get in a recent palettes I plan on buying video. This is by Martina Cosmetics. And Martina Cosmetics is a Belgian indie brand that I've never tried before. This is the Mini Tuchoin. I hope that's how it's pronounced. And they do really, really massive palettes usually, but this way I was like, I can try their formula and it's gonna be fine. It is my comfort zone in terms of an eyeshadow formula, like eyeshadow color story, of course. We get purpley grays, essentially. The grays looked more purple on my skin than it does in the packaging, so I was happy with that when I swatched it, but the formula felt very dry. So I'm very curious to see how this will go. I think... Yes, I'm already going to be reviewing this one for you this month because I needed some smaller palettes to review in August, as I will be traveling for part of the month, so I won't have a lot of time to try out new eyeshadow palettes. And this way I was like, I can like very easily up my eyeshadow palette count in August by putting in something small, so I will be reviewing this for you very soon. And then in September, because of these two guys, I won't be able to review anything else, I think. But I asked you guys when this dropped whether you wanted me to try it. Me and Beauty Bay eyeshadow, we're not the best of friends. I have tried many of their palettes. Some of them I've decluttered, some of them I keep around for video purposes, and some of them I've like repressed into other palettes because I was just like, I don't love this formula. It's just not my favorite formula. However, it swatches beautifully, and I don't want to be that person who, just because they don't like the formula, isn't going to recommend it, because I think if you're on a budget and you're looking for a really good, in this case, cool neutral palette that gives you all the cool tones you could possibly want, then the smoky palette from Beauty Bay is, I think, a really good option if you can get down with this formula. If you don't have a lot of money to spend, but you still want to try cool tones, maybe try the 16 pan. If you want to go for the whole shebang, go for the 42 pan. And I have never tried this sort of standard formula from Beauty Bay. I've only tried like their special releases. So I'm hoping that because this is their regular quality, that I might like it better. Who knows? We'll see. The 16 color story is enough, I think, if you're just looking for some cool tones, because this is everything you want. It's got grays, it's got taupes, it got some purpley things, it got things that pull a little bit gray-blue, and you even get a full-on navy in here. So this gives you all the options. Really nice, really light as well. Like, it's not too deep. If you cover this up and you cover up the black, it's a pretty light palette. With Beauty Bay, however, I do feel that things don't swatch the same the way they look in the pan. So this is definitely one where I need to play around to really see what it looks like on my skin, because just a swatch isn't enough. And then just for completion's sake, I was like, I need to try one of their big things. This doesn't even really fit into my makeup drawers. It really doesn't. But this is the 42 color palette. So again, you definitely don't need both. I bought these for review, and this is what it looks like. If you want a cool tone, again, pretty light. It doesn't get that deep until the bottom two rows, which I think is good. It's got two rows of mattes at the top, 2 rows of shimmer in the middle, and then we still got some shimmers here in the bottom row, but also this row is fully matte. So I think the matte to shimmer ratio is better in the 16 pan than in this one, but you get such a wide variety. I definitely think there is overlap between these two. The shades in the 16 pan are also in here, I feel, but again, you get that mixture of like blue tones and taupes and grays and some purpley things, some white. This, I think, can be a really nice one if you're a beginner, or maybe if you just want to have a lot of cool tones in one go and you want a one-stop shop cool tone palette. I think this can be right for a lot of people, so that's why I wanted to try it. So you're gonna see that review in September. And finally, I promised you there would be some more Monolith in this video today, and I did decide to also purchase some things from them myself. As I already mentioned, I have been buying from Monolith, I think for about a year now. I think I started buying from them last summer after one of you guys recommended them, and they finally got the Cradled in Ice palette from Fenty Cosmetica in, and they already got the new Blend Bunny Longing palette. And so many of you have been telling me how much you like this one, so I can't wait to try it, because I really enjoy the Blend Bunny formula. I think formula-wise they're really good. It's just that color story-wise, none of the palettes I've tried, and I've tried 3, have been perfect for me. So I hope this one is. So let's talk about these individually a little bit. So the Cradled in Ice first. This is so pretty. I don't necessarily love these like peachy pink tones in here. I think that if they had just stuck to their 9 pans, I would have just been happy. We do get a lot of mattes in here. Yes. 7 mattes and 5 shimmers. And the 9 pans very often also have like 5 or 4 shimmers and the rest are mattes. So we just essentially get more mattes in this. Didn't need that per se. It's like the Cool Trolls, very blue heavy. It's got 3 blues out of everything, but this is a really nice, also cool tone leaning palette. We get some interesting shimmers in here, as Fenty Cosmetica normally does. They always put in something that's a little bit more sparkly and interesting and fun, and they are one of my favorite indie brands for that reason. The Wizard that I've tried earlier in the year was an unexpected, really good one again, because that color story looked a little weird to me, but it worked so much better than I had expected. So I have high hopes for this one. And finally, the Longing palette. When I saw this drop, I knew this is such a mica color story. I'm gonna have to take one for the team and try it. It is cool tone, but it's not that neutral. Like very often when we get cool tones, we just get a bunch of grays and browns, but this has purples. This is the gray row, but it pulls quite blue on me when I swatched it. Then we get essentially something that's teal green leaning, some greens. This is the only row I'm a bit nervous about, and then we have these neutrals on this end. This row seems very olive to me, so those pulled a bit more warm toned when I swatched them, so I hope it's going to be okay. And I'm also very curious to see how the ratio between very light and very dark is. That's usually my issue with Blend Bunny, is that the dark shades are too dark and the light shades are too light to work with the dark shades. I know the entire branding of this brand is to have that gradient, but very often the shade that's in the middle is already too dark for me, and I need to use that as a liner shade, and I can't use it as a crease shade because I'm so fair skinned. So I'm hoping this is a bit more fair skin friendly. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, this just looks stunning, and I still think the color story looks really interesting now that I've swatched it and now that I have it home. So thank you again to Monolith for sending me some product. I'm very, very appreciative that I get the opportunity to work with a web store that I already love. That's always a win-win situation to me. Thanks again to everyone who sent them a message and let me know that they were going to send a message to them, because I definitely think that helped as well. So this way, I hope you have an idea of what is to come on the channel in the next couple of weeks, months to come, really. Because I definitely need to put some of these already into October, I think, for a review, because the Beauty Bay palette is so giant that it's going to take me like an entire week to try out every single shade in there. So that's a lot of looks I need to do with just one palette. That's why I don't love really big palettes like this, but oh well, we can like have one coming in here somewhere throughout the year. It's okay. So yeah, you can look forward to finding those reviews hopefully as soon as I can manage, and I really hope you enjoyed watching this video today. Thumbs up the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more by me. I make new videos every single week, so if you'd like to stay tuned for more. And this month, we are doing eyeshadow palette month, so all of my regular videos that are going to go live are going to be eyeshadow palette related, and we're doing daily videos, so I really hope you want to stay tuned for more, and then hope to see you in my next one. Bye-bye!